Guys, today I'm gonna help you turn those leftover brisket trimmings into a delicious chili with this simple barbecue recipe. So if you're with it, let's get it. Now guys, welcome back to the channel. I am the Dawgfatha and this is Barbecue Boulevard. It's pretty cold today on Barbecue Boulevard as well as it might be in a lot of parts of the country. You know, we've got that cold weather coming in and all I can think of whenever that cold weather comes through is chili. That's right, smoked chili, brisket chili, you name it. This is chili weather. So let's face it guys, throughout the year, we're all trying to make our best brisket and we're trimming and we're doing this and doing that. And we always say, don't ever throw away those trimmings. You might use it for something else. Yeah, we use it for sausage, we use it for hamburgers, but today guys, we're gonna use it for chili. That's right, we're gonna turn those trimmings, those leftover trimmings into a fantastic chili. So by the end of this video, my goal is to show you how to transform all of those leftover trimmings into a delicious and tasty chili that your friends and family are gonna absolutely love. So let's get into this recipe. Now guys, this is a very simple recipe and don't worry about trying to write everything down. I'm gonna definitely put the recipe down there in the description. So make sure you go down there in that description box and take a look at this recipe. And hopefully if you like it, you'll actually try it. And if you do try it, make sure you leave me a comment saying that you tried this chili and what you thought of it. But hey, it's the who's who of chili in this recipe. You know, we've got some brisket, we've got cubed brisket, we've got ground brisket. I actually ran some of my brisket meat through my grinder to make our own coarse ground beef. Just to have a little bit more texture. We've got the cubed brisket just to also give more texture to it. We've got some tomatoes, as in diced tomatoes, canned variety that is, some tomato sauce. We've got some Rotel tomatoes in there. We've got our bell peppers and onions, Worcestershire sauce. We've got some spices that we put together. Again, recipe is gonna be down below, but we got some spices we put together that we're gonna be putting in, garlic, some beer, stout beer that is, you name it guys, it's in this recipe. So again, down below you'll find the recipe so that you can try it. So hey, let's get it going. We're gonna get our Pit Boss Pro Series 1600 up to temp. And the beautiful thing about this grill is it's got a sear plate. So I can actually open the sear plate, put my cast iron dish on it, and I can start to saute or do whatever I've gotta do. So let's go put this recipe together, guys. All right, guys, so we've got our cast iron pot here on our Pro Series 1600 from Pit Boss. Now we're gonna get started by getting some beef tallow in here. Okay, now that we've got some beef tallow in here, we've got our pan lubricated nicely for us. We're gonna get started by adding in our beef chunks. Now this is our brisket that we got cubed up a little while ago. And so we're gonna get that into the pool. Gotta love that sizzle. Now all we're looking to do here is just gently brown this. We're probably gonna get halfway through browning this before we add in our ground beef. Now I like to use bigger chunks of beef like this because I like the texture in my chili. A lot of times when you have chili, it's gonna be made of a lot of ground beef and it just leaves kind of a mushy just texture. So I like to have bigger pieces like this just to give us a little bit more of a mouthfeel or a little bit more to chew on here. So now that we've got our brisket in here, our chunks of brisket, we're gonna come back with our ground brisket. Again, this was the same trimmings, we just ground some of it. So we're gonna get that put in the pool here as well. All right, and we're just gonna work on getting this browned as well. And I'll bring you back here in a minute. All right, so definitely it's cold. I don't know if you can see my breath is in the air here. Not a common sight on Barbecue Boulevard in Central Texas, but it does get cold here. So I'm gonna ask you guys today, yes, we're making brisket chili. What do you guys like to have whenever it's cold like this and you want those comfort foods? What is your favorite go-to comfort food in cold weather? Put it down there in the comments. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, we've got our beef kind of browned up the way we want to get started for our next step. So what I'm gonna do, we've got a lot of moisture in here. So I'm basically gonna move my beef all the way to the outer edges of the pot and expose this liquid, this moisture in the center here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take some paper towel here and I'm gonna kind of soak up some of that moisture just to remove some of it from our pan. We don't need it in our chili as we move on to our next step here. So we're just gonna kind of discard some of this moisture here with the paper towel. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add in my garlic. Now this is just minced garlic. So we're gonna get that tossed in here. Kind of move that around. And now that I've got my beef in here, I've got some garlic in here, I wanna try and get this seasoned up. And so we're gonna start off here with our competition barbecue rub from Pit Boss here. And it's got some good garlic, paprika, and some onion in here. And basically I'm gonna put roughly a couple of tablespoons. We're not really measuring anything. You're gonna kind of do it to taste. And then we're gonna follow that up with the smoked salt and pepper, you know, and this has that salt and pepper and a little bit of a hickory flavor to it. So again, we're gonna put maybe a couple of tablespoons in there of that, and we're gonna get it moving around. We're just gonna let all this kind of combine. Okay, now that we've got our beef brown, we've got our garlic in here, we've got our barbecue rubs in, we're gonna go ahead and add in some peppers. This is just some red diced bell pepper, give it a little bit of color to it. And then we've got an onion here. Got that going in the pool. And we'll give that a good mix. All right, now we've given this a few minutes here as we've been going on the heat here. And we're ready to get moving to our next step. And so what we're gonna put in now is gonna be our tomatoes. Now, this is basically a 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes. And we're gonna follow that with, in this I've got a little can of Rotel tomatoes, the hot style. We kind of like it a little hot. And we also got some tomato sauce in here. So we're gonna get that dumped in and we're gonna continue to mix this up. All right, so now that we've got this tomatoes and our tomato sauce, our Rotel tomatoes, all of that is in there, we're gonna go ahead and add in our spices here. Now, again, don't worry, the recipe is down below, so you can get the recipe if you wanna try this out. But we're gonna go ahead and get this mixed in together. Okay, so now that we've got that going there, we're gonna go ahead and add in a little Worcestershire sauce here. So we've got our Worcestershire put in. And here we've got our beef base. Now this is gonna be that better than bouillon. So we've got that beef base here that's gonna go in. And we're gonna continue to work this around, guys. Just keep it mixing. Now at this point, it's nice and thick. It's smelling pretty good. And so now we're gonna add some beer. Today I'm gonna be putting in a stout beer. Put in whatever you like, but this is kind of what we're gonna go with today here. So again, we're gonna get this mixing around. All right, and this is looking like I want it. So this is gonna be fantastic. And at this point, we've got everything into our chili. And the only thing that's left is, if you decide, you can add a little water to it, or beef stock, chicken stock, whatever you want to add to it to thin it out. Right now, I'm just going to kind of close this grill up. I'm going to close my sear plate, and I'm going to just let it kind of smoke and kind of simmer and just come together. But this is basically what our chili is going to be. And man, I'll bring you guys back here in a minute. All right, guys, now we just got our chili put on to our Pro Series 1600 right there. And man, I tell you, it's very easy to cook on this thing when you've got that flame broiler technology, so you can saute on it. It's just great. But anyway, we got it on here. We're just gonna let everything simmer here. We've got our temperature set to 275. Fahrenheit, and we're gonna let it simmer for the next couple of hours. We're gonna let everything come together. We're gonna keep mixing it and not letting it dehydrate too much. If it does and you find you need more liquid, we'll just go ahead and add some more liquid to it, whether it be water, beer, broth, whatever. But we'll keep an eye on it and see what happens, and also adjust our flavors as needed. But as of right now, we're just gonna play that waiting game. We're gonna let it simmer along here on the grill, and I'll bring you guys back periodically throughout. All right, so stay tuned. All right, guys, we've been going along here for about 45 minutes. And so we're just gonna give it a little stir here. Keep everything kind of moving. Let it all continue to meld together. Now, I did taste this just to see how we're progressing. And if you've noticed, when we put this together, I didn't put any peppers in it. You know, I didn't add any jalapenos or serranos or cayenne or anything like that. And I was relying on our rotel tomatoes to be the heat that we were going to go with. I've kind of decided that I need to add a little bit more spice to it, just a little bit. So I'm going to be adding some jalapenos. Now these are dehydrated jalapenos. I dehydrate a lot of jalapenos because I make sausage and I do a jalapeno cheese sausage and that type of thing. So I've got some dehydrated jalapenos here, and I'm just going to add a little bit to it, not a whole lot, but just to kind of kick up the spice level just a little bit, not too much. And as we continue to go through here, I'll taste it a little bit as we go. And it might just be, if I'm not satisfied with the heat at that point, maybe I'll add a little hot sauce into my individual bowl. But we're still going along here, 45 minutes into this cook. And we're just, again, like I said, we're just gonna let everything just kind of simmer and just continue to meld together. But this is what we're looking like so far, and it's tasting pretty good. It's got a good richness because of that stout beer that we added to it, as well as the cocoa and you know, those types of things we've got put in here. So yeah, we'll just let it keep going, guys, and I'll bring you back in a bit. All right, guys, so the age-old question when it comes to chili is beans or no beans. I want to know what you guys think. Me, I don't really care. I like beans, or I can do it without beans. But what do you think? Do you like your chili with beans or without beans? Pop it in the comments down there and let's talk about it. All right, guys, we're about an hour and 45 minutes into this cook, and this is coming along nicely. Now, what I look forward to consider whether I'm done here with making this style of chili is the tenderness of the brisket chunks. And I can tell you, I've already checked them out, and they are actually really good. And so I consider this cook to be just about completed. But beans, that's right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and add some beans. We kind of like the beans in here, and we've got some black beans here that we're gonna add. I know. If you don't like beans, just don't put them in your chili. It's all gonna be good. I promise you, you'll live if you put beans in your chili. But no, we like beans in our chili, so we're gonna add it in. And I'm adding them in now because these are canned beans, and I don't want them to become mush. So I'm literally just gonna put them in here for a little while so that they can heat up. And once they're heated through, we're going to consider this chili to be finished or completed. And yeah, we'll pull it off. So I am going to close up this grill here, give it a few minutes on this chili, and I'll meet you back here when we get ready to taste it. All right, guys, so just like that, we've got our chili completed. It's off the grill. And man, it came together in no time. I mean, yeah, we gave it a couple of hours to simmer and get our brisket chunks nice and tender, but man, overall, this brisket recipe is very simple. I'm telling you, anybody can do it, and you'll be a brisket chili champion in your neck of the woods. But hey, enough talking about it, let's be about it. Let's dig into this chili. Let's make ourselves a bowl and let's get into it. All right, so here we go. And the color on this chili is just looking really good here. So we're gonna get some put in a bowl here for us. Just like that. Again, there you go. That's what that is looking like, straight there out of the pot. Now we're gonna dress it up a little bit. And I gotta have a little bit of sour cream with mine. So we're gonna go ahead and get us a nice little dollop of sour cream there, a little bit more. All right, so now we've got some sour cream in here, And we've got to get some cheese in here. Now, I've got some smoked, that's right, I got some smoked Colby Jack cheese here that I'm going to add in here. And so that's what I've got there. And then, of course, we're going to get us some chopped onions in here as well. And there you go, guys. That's how I like to dress up my chili. I mean, you feel free to dress it up however you like, but that's what I'm going with today. And man, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to just get a nice little bowl of this, get some of that onion, get some of that sour cream, get some of that cheese in there. So just like that, we've got our spoonful. So hey, let's go in. All right, cheers. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That, my friends, is an excellent chili. It's got a nice little depth to it. We've got a good heat on the back end, which is what I was going for. So I'm very pleased with this recipe. Hopefully you guys will give it a chance. Try it out. Let me know what you guys think. And hey, I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, make sure you check out this one right here and subscribe to the channel. Peace. Brisket chili, baby.